स्पॉटलाइट में आपका स्वागत है। मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट अमीता। Join me weekly as I talk to inspiring guests who will share their success stories. आज हमारे साथ है the finalist for 2016 holding the title by Ernst & Young for the Entrepreneur of the Year, and he is the president of the award-winning TWI Foods Inc. It's my pleasure to welcome to our show Mr. Ali Kisilbash. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come talk to us.
It's a pleasure.
Sure. तो पहले हमें कुछ आपके बारे में बताइए. We want to find out about the organization which is doing amazing globally. But पहले, where did you grow up and what is your educational background?
So I was born in Karachi, Pakistan, and I grew up with a family of professionals. My mother was an educationist. My father is a lawyer, my sister is a doctor, so we grew up with a lot of decent values around us. I opted to become an engineer out of many professions there, and I think I made a good choice. I had a talent towards that, and I worked with the two top companies in Pakistan. One was ICI, the other was Exxon. But I kept on trying to leave the job and start my own business despite of a lot of resistance from my family. Finally, I did succeed and started a business in '89. And in 5 years, we were able to actually set up one of the largest distribution network in Karachi with about 500 employees. So that was my humble beginning there back home.
So you had that passion inside you, like you were following the general trend of profession, which has helped you to get where you are today, but you really wanted to start that business of your own.
Yeah, so in my first job, I did realize that I was not a atypical type employee. I didn't have the mentality of following the status quo, the norms of what is needed to be a good employee. I thought that certainly I want to do something of my own, and I pursued my passion despite of all the resistance, because there was nobody in my family who had ever done business, and that was going against my desire to start something from the scratch. But I did that back home, and obviously when I grew the company to a point where we were making a lot of money, we had huge success, but then I said, well, I need to do better. So we were looking at moving to outside Karachi because of the issues we were having there in terms of law and order. And out of all the places I found, I looked at many places. I looked at Middle East, I looked at USA, I looked at Canada, and I found Canada to be a great place to come and settle. So I took a chance. I got a visitor visa. I came here, and then I applied for a work permit. I got that, and I called my wife, who was in US, saying, well, I'm thinking to move to Canada. And she said, what do you mean by that? For her, that was like news that somebody leaving all that and will start a new venture. I said, I want to do that, and we got here. I moved my family here. For the first year, I just looked at what would be the best thing. And to my surprise, when I reviewed what would be my options in Canada, I said, well, this is a tough place to do anything, because for the same thing, where when we look at countries like Pakistan or India, there are very few people doing things. Like, there's so many openings, there's a lot of opportunities there. But here in Canada, I said, everything is done by somebody, and not by one, by multiple people. So it was a very competitive environment, and I was looking at things I had done back home, and I found that there wouldn't be any hope if I tried to get into those businesses. Like in Pakistan, we were doing trading, we were doing distribution, and so for a short period I did start small distribution setup, and I realized that that was not my forte, and I didn't want to continue with that. And I said, well, what would be then the next thing? And manufacturing has always been my dream. I mean, say when I set up my business in Pakistan, that was based on a desire to finally get into manufacturing, and I said, well, let me then see what would be the best thing to manufacture, and food certainly was the first thing which came to my mind.
We all need food.
We all need food. When we are not in a happy mood, we still eat more. And actually, when it's a study which was done that during recession, everything goes down except food. Food is eaten more, because if you can't buy a good dress, you still want to buy a good food.
It's essential.
So it's an essential. And yesterday I was in a party where one of the guys asked me this question. So what is your vision about your company? I said, vision about food is very simple. I mean, say, amongst the top companies in Canada are 2 food companies. So I think everybody needs to eat. So when I moved to Canada, I basically said, coming from a very strong background of business, I said, well, I will start on a small scale. So we rented a 1,200 square feet of a place, put a single oven, got a couple of employees, and together we tried to develop the recall values of food, which I thought was the niche market, not as much attended as other segments of the food were. We said, why not make a Punjabi cookie, where this guy, when he was in his own village, his mother used to make that. And then my wife would say, I can't make roti for you now here, because, so we put up a roti plant, we put up a naan plant. So that's how we kept on growing.
Awesome. Congratulations on realizing your vision. And all along the way, we heard that you always stepped out of your comfort zone, planned it well, till you had come to your goal, which is now is TWI Foods Inc, and which is doing so well. So now we want to find out more about that. लेकिन उससे पहले लेते एक छोटा सा break. Spotlight में फिर से आपका स्वागत है. We are talking to the president of Crispy Just Bake, which is under TWI Foods Inc, Mr. Ali Kisilbash. So, जैसे हमने सुना, you realized your vision, despite all the hurdles, at every step of the way you had a vision. और अभी हम सुनेंगे आपसे, what is Crispy Just Bake all about? कौन से services offer करते हैं, कौन से products offer करते हैं?
So today, TWI Foods is producing under Crispy and other banners quite a few range. Actually, if I say that we are one of the most diversified industrial bakery in North America, I wouldn't be wrong. Very few will have the kind of portfolio we have on an industrial scale. And we are a company which is not only very widely spread demographically all over the world. We export from here, starting from USA to Europe, to Middle East, to Australia, to Japan. And not only that, we are exporting to such a wide demographic food products, which surprises all, but we do make the most diversified product range. And we have now 10 different lines, all very high scale, high production lines, in which we have 2 plants. One have 3 lines where we produce naan and roti. Now, just to put in perspective, the naan we make here on our one of the plants, we do close to about 14 to 15,000 naans an hour. And if you compare it with a tandoor, a normal tandoor would be able to produce maybe 100 naans an hour. And so that's how we scaled up the thing. Same thing is in roti. And one of the things we took pride in is that we had always state-of-the-art technology. All basically designed and conceptualized by our team, including me. We have one of the most sophisticated packaging which was needed because we were export-based company. We have always kept food quality as paramount. So a lot of people have compromised on this staple, which is naan and roti, and have put huge preservatives. We opted to go for most modern modified atmosphere technology, which reduces the requirement of any chemical preservative. And
nice.
So we were very mindful of the health of our consumer. Then about 3 years back, we got a 186,000 square foot facility where we have put up a lot of new lines, including the most modern cookie line. Then we have developed a new product, which is, so every line we have put in, we had this desire to be innovative. So today, if I say TWI Food is geared up for a huge growth, because whatever we achieved on a horizontal growth is now all going vertically up. So all the demographics, we are seeing a growth which is significant. All the lines, we are seeing a significant growth.
And I think it is also, the keywords I hear is, first of all, innovation, which is very important in such a dynamic world where everything is changing, and even coming to terms with the fact that people want more stuff with less preservatives, more healthy stuff. And the other thing is the quality. And when you have those, I think you go a long way with your vision too.
Certainly, and this is where sometimes people make mistakes. In a business model within Canada, the general research is that the small businesses, it's very difficult to grow. And I think the reason mostly is they don't want to invest into their future. I mean, say my goal has been always to think ahead and say what I need to do next year. I mean, say unless your mindset is about what you need to do next year, you'll never be prepared to do it. So what we have always done, and this was coming out of my experience with these multinational companies I worked with and the business I did back home, that I always said it doesn't matter if I don't spend this money today, I'll never be able to achieve what I want for my growth next year.
So it's great having you as that leader and entrepreneur for the company, because it sounds like you, even when you come to a homeostasis level, you think beyond and you think for getting better, even though you are already the best. You think of ways to make, how can you make yourself better? So I think having you as a leader of the company makes a huge difference too, and I'm pretty sure you have passed it on to your employees or the team that you have at your company.
Yeah, so it is all about having a set of culture, a set of mentality which you inculcate in your organization. And we were trained to think for a continuous improvement. So there's nothing today which satisfies me tomorrow. I mean, say I have to start my day doing better than yesterday is the set of mind. And that's what we teach our employees. That's what we try to create, a culture of not being satisfied with the status quo. I mean, say nothing is going to be acceptable tomorrow. It must improve.
It's a very good way to think about things and create that kind of environment at work.
Right.
So yeah, that's why Crispy Just Bake is doing so well. And it's we heard earlier, it's kind of bringing that taste of our homeland within the mainstream, and that's why you have not just done well nationally, but you've gone global, and once again, congratulations on that. We want to hear more about what's upcoming with the organization, but before that, it's time for a short break. स्पॉटलाइट में फिर से आपका स्वागत है. It's exciting to be talking to the president of Crispy Just Bake, the company that's doing so well globally. Let's welcome once again Mr. Ali Kisilbash. So yeah, it's exciting to have that leader who's making a progress through innovation. So what can we look forward to in terms of products? Are you launching any new products in the upcoming year or in the near future?
Yes, what I would say is that our focus point right now is to adapt the lines we have set up. Like we make cake rusk. On the cake rusk, we are making biscottis. On the cookie line, where we produce cookies close to about 2 tons an hour, we are making chocolate chip cookies other than the naan khatais and the zira biscuit. So essentially the model of growth, what we see here is coming from crossover to the mainstream, and it's happening very fast. I'm very happy that my kids have joined me in the growth pattern. But other than that, we are entering into basically further adding new range of savory products. So we have been mostly into the sweet side. Now we are in the next 5 years planning to add a lot of savory product, both for the South Asian but also for the mainstream.
Amazing. I love it. So you're actually capturing what Canada is all about, or the world is all about, diversity. And you're taking the common product, which you have already changed to a major extent to capture the markets globally, but from there you're going on to also diversifying it, and variations.
So I'll give you an example that if Costco sells one of our product, cake rusk. They sell quite a few of our product, but cake rusk, which was typically a South Asian product, is now one of the most popular products sold in Costco in Canada. And it's continuously growing. I mean, when I go there and see a lot of people who are not South Asian are buying it and they're loving it. So this is what our plan of the future is, that how do we get the mainstream, non-South Asian consumers to start buying our product. And we are adapting our product range. So we make pound cakes with the South Asian flavor. And now we see that we sell more to the mainstream than we sell to the South Asian on our muffins and pound cake. And naan has become one of the most fastest growing flatbreads in North America. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of growth we are getting in we just put up a second line which does almost 18,000 naans an hour. And that's the future of bread going.
It's so true. Like I recently went to a friend's house who's using naan as a base for pizza.
Right.
Yeah. So it is great that you are actually taking the South Asian products into the mainstream, but also modifying it accordingly if mainstream needs to try it in a different variation.
Exactly. We are growing rapidly in USA with the mainstream. We are talking to a lot of food service. So that our product is also available in restaurants. So the growth pattern is significant, and I don't believe that we want to grow uncontrolled. So we are not trying to rush and grab every single opportunity which comes to us, because we are very happy with our growth. And we don't want to really create problems just because we went into a fulfilling of a desire to grow too fast.
That's true. Then you compromise on your values. It's harder. So that's great. You find crispy just bake anywhere. You just have to look for that labor or ask for it. Coming back to what I heard is family is involved with the work process. So just let's digress a bit from work. Is that the only place you spend time with family, or do you have time away from work to spend time with family or hobbies, time for yourself?
Yeah, my family, like my kids have recently joined me. It's been just a couple of months, but my wife has been with me from the beginning, and she's been a big support there. I do like to enjoy my life. I'm not a person who, I'm workaholic, but at the same time, I create a balance between my fun life and my work life. And I would say that that balance is a must, because there's no money which is good for you, which is not well spent, both on yourself and on others. So for me, the theory of money is very simple, that it is your friend if you use it wisely, which wisely means that you use it for others as well and on yourself. It becomes your enemy when you keep it and keep on piling it up, not using it the right way. So we believe in utilizing the money for the reasons you are getting it. So that's
good advice in general for life.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to ask you or request you if you had some words of advice similarly for viewers who aspire to be a great entrepreneur like yourself, somebody who's an immigrant who is struggling to make it on their own here. Do you have any words of advice?
I would say one of the most important thing which an entrepreneur should have is relentless desire to continue to succeed. I mean, say most of the time when people fail, it is not because they don't have the right vision or the right plan. It is that they get confused with results on a daily basis. I mean, say results should be left on the side, and you should keep on improvising to succeed. And success will be there. It just takes a little more time.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to us today. And you're truly an inspiration in every way, being a South Asian leader who's making it in corporate Canada or even globally. You have inspired us in your personal life as well, where you said you went against the norm, an engineer turned entrepreneur who had a vision, and you're successful right now in the mainstream. So thank you for inspiring us today, and all the best with Crispy Just Bake under TWI Foods Inc. and with everything that you do with your life.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. तो ये थे मिस्टर अली किजलबाश, जिन्होंने हमें एहसास दिलाया है कि we need more entrepreneurs to make this world go forward, and you could be one of them. Well, that's a wrap for this week's show. Thank you for watching us. We will continue to bring you inspiring guests. Continue to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and write to me at spotlight@ethnicchannels.com. Until next week, this is Amitha signing off, encouraging you to find the entrepreneur within you.